Why so serious? It's DJ Joker in the house.
Horns up, everybody. Welcome to another interview edition of the Electric Circus Radio Show here at MetalMessiahRadio.com. I got some special guests on the line with me right now. Here with me tonight, we have all the members of Blak. Blak is a heavy power metal band from California. Who do we have with us here tonight? State your names and positions in the band, please.
Hey, this is Amelia, the bassist.
Eric, the vocalist.
Mark, the drummer.
Hey, this is Brian. I play the guitar.
Alrighty. The band is currently in the studio working on new material for an EP and looking to release in 2021. Blak also put a single out called Voyager for a test run. The band is currently seeking labels. Welcome to the Electric Circus Radio Show here, everyone.
Hey.
Thanks for having us.
All the way from California.
And Blak is here to talk about their band and the new single that they just been released called Voyager. Please tell us about the early beginnings of the band Blak and how you got the name. What does that name come from?
This is Eric. The band actually started back in 2014, right after leaving the last band I was in, which was Scarred. I decided to come up with something else and, put my own project together. So that's how it all began by me, giving musicians a call and seeing if they want to jam. I called up Mark and I called up Bo, and then and it started from there.
What was the process like on developing the new song Voyager?
It started off with guitar.
Do you want to do this?
Go ahead.
Well, we pretty much realized that we can use, several ways of doing this. So in this particular case, I think I had a riff, just like a jam thing, and I was figuring it out by myself, and sent it to these guys like, hey, can we work on this? Is this any good? Let me know. And all the guys were like, yeah, this is cool. We can probably make something off this, and maybe we can turn it into a single of some sort, and just went from there, maybe riff or two, and then we finished it all in the studio. Like everyone kind of put in their parts and worked together on. I think the chorus was like a thing where we all kind of put in all of our influences, and the rest of them, the rest of the parts pretty much ended up in when we were recording it, because we weren't sure how to end it, or there was a lot of kind of questions, but at the end in the studio we kind of figured it out, and it was surprisingly small amount of time that we did it. Well, and then when we actually went to record it, it was like, oh, we thought we'll need way longer than this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was
really quickly.
All right, what's the
And
song Voyager about? What's the song about? What's the topic for Voyager?
It's about Sinbad, the sailor.
And his son's voice.
I was watching, the old movie Sinbad. So I was watching that one day, and I just kind of caught wind of all the things that were going on, and the treasure, and sailing, and the monsters that they had to deal with, and Cyclops, and all that. And that's what kind of built. That's what kind of built the song right there, the lyric-wise.
Right. Who did the logo art for the band logo?
I did. This is Eric. So I went ahead and tried to design something that would be a little different from everybody else's, and kind of worked it out, and came out pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
if you may say so yourself.
Yeah. If I say so myself, tap on the back.
So as I stated earlier, you guys been shopping for a record label. What's the process like, and what's some of the record labels you have approached so far?
approached Metal on Metal Radio, Metal on Metal Records, Pure Skill, Blak. So process is, for me to just send them the material, photos, and a little bio, and see if they bite and see if they like the material that we're putting out. And it also depends on the label and what kind of genre they're really accepting at the time as well. So we tend to, we're trying to hit mainly a lot of European labels because they tend to, fall more into the category of what we're doing right now musically.
Right. Okay, please tell us about the music scene coming up where you're at in California.
Wow. Completely dead.
Yeah.
Well, as of now, yeah.
Male space.
Yeah, right now, a lot of the venues are pretty much closed. Not much concerts going on. Everybody's pretty much in their own little space, And
I think that's, you need to look at a better side of the whole thing. You kind of have more time. You can write. You can just create, record and, put out stuff out there because, you have to use the time somehow. So yeah, we all have this downtime and maybe some people do some other projects and that's cool, but, yes, it's slow and there's no gigs whatsoever. Everything's been canceled and closed, but we're just trying to do as much as we can in this era, and hopefully, we all have the internet and can put out stuff for now. So that's at least, kind of looking at a brighter side of things.
Great answer.
Hopefully they won't stop the internet because of COVID.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we're not China yet. They do that
exactly.
over there. Yeah.
Okay,
we're
Black
just trying to
Earth
get as much
performed at many many events around Los Angeles, California, including a show. The band directly supported Lita Ford at the M15 concerts in Corona, California. Please tell us about that. What was it like supporting Lita Ford? It must have been very amazing to open for somebody like that, especially Lita Ford.
Yeah, it was a very good night. Amazing night, actually. It was our first show, and we had a lot of people there, and everyone was supporting us, and everyone was supporting Lita. And personally, I thought it was a flawless show. We all performed perfect, and then Lita went on, and she performed perfect as well.
There was a lot of really good, local bands as well.
Yeah.
It was kind of one of those shows where you're nervous at the same time, and it was kind of like a big deal, I would say. It was a good crowd. It was good response. We didn't know, it was because it was our first gig. We didn't really know how this is gonna sit with the crowd, but we got some good responses and good messages after that, and people were actually hitting us up, and I remember walking maybe half an hour later, just to check out Lita Ford's band, and I remember people asking us, when is a single going to come out? Do you guys have a demo? Do you guys have this or that? I was like, sorry, it's just our first gig. We're trying to figure this out, but it seemed that we were on the right path. Kind of looked like that.
One of the funny things about the M15 was that they have a huge projection screen across the stage. Mm-hmm. So I'm playing drums, and I'm watching myself playing drums on a huge screen across the crowd.
That's kind of trippy.
Yeah, it was very.
I didn't even notice it. I was so into it, I didn't even see the what was going on.
There I am. Right. Yeah, it was a good venue. It's changed now, but great venue for metal music.
This is a question for each one of you. How did you all get started in the beginning, and who made you want to be a musician? Who are some of your influences you look up to that you were so and you're like, yeah, this is what I want to do. I want to be in a band. I want to be a musician. I want to make music. Who are some of your influences?
Okay, this is Amelia. I actually started with other instruments when I was younger. Played guitar and then drums, and then eventually settled in on bass. I just love music, and I just love the way the bass especially made me feel when I heard it, and I wanted to play it, and I wanted to do that and be good at it. So that's what I did. far as influences, pretty much all the typical bass influences. Of course, getting Steve Harris. Jaco, Historius. There's so many amazing basses within a wide range of varieties of styles of music. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's pretty much that for me. Next.
Mark, the drummer here. I got started playing drums at age 6, and it was Peter Criss that really got me starting drums. Mm-hmm. And then into other drummers as I grew up, Tommy Aldridge became a major influence and still is. I call him the godfather of double bass drum. And then listening to J0KeR's became, as everyone, major influence. But I started off listening to Sabbath. That was the first major band. I mean, besides Kiss, the first real. I'm not knocking Kiss. I love Kiss, but the real band that got me into music was Sabbath. Sure, Sabbath was I think the first album that I ever got in my life. And Love Gun was the second. So that's how it was with the album. Yeah. Well,
me. Well, as far as guitar, there's so many guitar players. There's we come a dime a dozen almost. When I was a kid, when I was 8 years old, my dad tried to teach me. I think it was kind of one of those like parents' wishes, like, oh, let my son do this, and Dad ended up crying one night or something. I can barely remember. But then when I was, early teens, probably 12, 13, I first heard Hendrix. I heard really early Santana, like a Abraxas album and stuff like that. And then the breakthrough was when I was probably 14 or 15. I heard Dire Straits. I heard Mark Knopfler. And I thought, I want to make this sound. This is amazing. How do I do this? Then progressing later, when I got into heavier stuff, I would say probably like 3 guitarists that influenced me the most were probably Adrian Smith from Maiden. I really like Chris Oliva's playing from Sabotage, and Gary Moore, in his heavy metal years in the 80s. That was like huge, Corridors of Power and Victims of the Future's album. That was just great. From then I never looked back. That was some really good stuff.
This is Eric. I actually started off playing drums. I was influenced by our score. I was about 13, 12, and I heard him play music, and then I think they were doing a cover of Fleetwood Mac. So I went over and he started showing me how to play drums, my neighbor. And
he's a good drummer, by the way.
I'm okay.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's good.
I'm an okay drummer. And from there at school, I took choir classes. So I was in choir for a little bit, and used to sing at the malls and stuff like that. And that's what kind of got me started singing.
Singing Tiffany.
Tiffany, yeah, exactly. At Tiffany's. And then we ended up, my family ended up moving to Texas, so I kept studying. I joined choir there as well in high school. And after that, came back here. I got into, rock bands like AC/DC, Zeppelin, and all that. And then got heavier when I got into high school. I got into Slayer, Venom, and, and then got into Dio and Iron Maiden later on. So those are my influences, pretty much.
Yes. I read that you guys are a heavy power metal band. Who are some of the influences as far as the genre, the subgenre you guys are in? Who are some of the power metal bands on the scene today that you love to hear, you like?
Well, that's kind of pretty specific, I would say, in our case, because for example, most of my influences weren't typical power metal bands. What I like, in some of the modern stuff, I love Symphony X, that neoclassical stuff. But I also grew up on, Sabotage, Crimson Glory, Queensryche, bands like that. And that kind of always draw me to this slightly more progressive heavy metal. But I also love, the sound of, Halloween and Running Wild, all those like fast-paced notes and stuff like that. So that was always pretty appealing to me. And it kind of comes out when I make music for Black Earth, it comes through my playing. So those are some of my, favorite bands from 80s and 90s, and even, they're still rocking out today.
All great influences. Okay, next is Gear Talk. Please tell us about the gear and the companies that makes them and why you like those brands of instruments. And please tell us any other Pro Tools you like to use in recording and performing live with.
Okay. Like anyone else, or I'm the gearhead here in the band. So sorry. So yeah. Well, as far as I'll start with an amp because that's, I guess, where most of your sound really comes from. I rarely use any pedals, so that's kind of on the minimal side. For live stuff and for the recording that you heard, I used a Soldano Hot Rod 50. I dreamt about that amp for about 15 years, and then when I finally got it, it was like, this is my sound. And as far as guitars, as younger, I always were into like Jacksons and Charvels. I like how they looked, I like how they sounded, how they felt. But from last year, I'm almost exclusively, at least live, playing a company that's called Sola Custom Guitars. They're out of New Jersey, and they actually made me a custom guitar. I met them at NAMM, and we hit it off. It was pretty cool. The owner, Anthony, pretty much told me, hey, I like your playing. I want you to make whatever you like. And I thought about it for a while. I was like, okay. So I ended up having my own signature model with them. So, check them out. Sola Custom Guitars. They're out of New Jersey, and they play some, they make some kick-ass stuff.
Nice. What is your favorite part about this line of work, being a musician and being in a band? What's your favorite things about being in a band?
Playing with great people, getting to meet some really cool, like-minded people, and taking care of fun, and just being creative and getting that outlet out.
Yeah, just sharing ideas and watching them totally melt into something. It's sort of like making a stew. You put all the ingredients in, and it tastes good in the end. That's the result.
Or not.
Or too thin or thick. So.
Yeah. No, it's definitely the experience of being in a band. I think grew me as a player more than anything else. You can sit in your room, you can practice. You can know theory and everything, and that's all cool. I'm not bashing on that, but when you actually go out there and play with other people, there's always someone there who has to say something, and I'm always saying, two heads think better than one. So at the end of the day, when you're in a band, there's all these ideas that come in and make you better in the process as well. That's just what I think.
You guys are working on a new EP as we speak. How soon do you think it will be released?
That would depend on a label a lot, right, Eric?
It would depend on the label, but like I said, right now we're just our basic goal is to get the songs down and get the material all together before handing it to the label. So once we get a label together, get with a label, then we'll have a definite idea of when the album or EP will be released.
It's kind of weird to kind of think about that in these times when we don't even know when the next gig is going to happen, when stuff is going to open up. So we can't really project. Even if let's say we find someone next month, if they're willing to put it out, then there's no one touring.
That's the only thing of the bad side about putting an album out is that you won't be able to tour the album, but at the same time, everybody's at home ordering stuff, so it's a good way of selling CDs and vinyls and all that, or downloading.
Yeah, letting the record tour, I guess.
Yeah. Since everybody's homebound right now,
Which brings me to, how are each one of you dealing with the lockdown of COVID-19 virus? What are you doing in your spare time?
Just studying music, trying to be better at your craft, practicing more, basically getting ideas, looking toward the left hand instead of the right, just looking for anything that's different from what you normally are as a person, as a musician. You want to do something out of the norm. And I think that's personally Mark here. That's what I'm doing. Trying to come up with better ideas as a drummer, not just being content who I am as a drummer, but trying to be better as a drummer, growing as a drummer, and as a musician per se.
Yeah, I've been lucky. I'm still able to work pretty regularly, so that's pretty much keeping me busy. But with my evenings kind of free now, same thing. Just been practicing a little bit more and just trying to get caught up on things to do around the house that I haven't had time for before, and more time to practice stuff that I've been wanting to work on. That's pretty much it for me.
Skateboarding and
messing up your ankle.
Messing up my ankle and hitting the beach. Not so much on lockdown for me, but yeah, I do tend to spend more time at home and just work on material, write as much as I can.
Please,
yeah, that's probably the best thing that.
Please tell us how you interact with and respond to the fans in social media on like social outlets like Facebook.
We try to just put out material and photos and as much as we can to try and attract people to our page. As far as contacting musicians, the fans, I've had quite a few people contact me and ask me when the release date's going to be, if we're putting out any more songs, when we're going to play. So at this time, I just give them a minimal answer because we don't really know where we're at right now with this whole COVID thing. But as far as the music, I tend to tell them by early next year is when the album would be released, hopefully.
I know you guys are inspired and have aspirations to perform at some more festivals. If so, what festivals around the world would you love to attend and perform at?
Wacken would be a good one to perform at. That's one of the big ones. Wacken, yeah. There's Up the Hammers in Greece, which is a really good one. There's also Keep It True in Germany as well, which is a good one for us. So we're looking at many venues and some here in the States as well.
One of the best that I've seen actually that always has a good lineup, good organization and everything. It's the Prague Power in Atlanta, right? I think it is. That would get my vote for sure.
Okay.
Prague Power.
I've actually never heard that one yet.
Yeah.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah. They have some good bands on there.
Yeah, but so there's some locally and some that are some overseas that we're looking at this time as well.
What does the music mean to each of you personally?
Well, music in general?
Yes, music in general. Right.
No.
It's life for me personally. I've been since I was 6 years old. It's been my life personally. Yeah, that's all I can say. But yeah, it's sort of like blood. Without it, I'm gonna die. That's a fact.
Oh yeah, I can relate. It keeps you sane like in some really difficult times. Both listening and playing music, it's a huge deal for me as well. Like I think when if I can't walk when I'm 80 and if I can still hold a guitar, I'll do it. It's just like keeping me in check.
Yeah, music is life.
Yeah, that's it.
Music is life, absolutely.
Yeah.
What advice would you have to give to new and upcoming bands that want to do heavy metal?
I would just say just do it. Just do it and stick to your guns and be true to your heart. And as long as you're having fun and learning and enjoying it, just get out there and do it.
Yeah.
Keep pushing forward.
I think Randy Rhoads said, you need to like the instrument or the playing better than the success that it can bring.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of recaps, the whole thing. If you love your instrument, if you can take the people around you that play with you, and you're not fighting them, or you're just good with them. Then just do it. Go out there, play, get better, listen a lot, learn a lot, see what's around you, and you can get some really good results.
And have fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Where do you see your band in the future? Your goals to where you want to be as a band?
Right now, we're just looking at getting an album out, getting a record deal, and getting an album out. As far as goals, that's for the future to tell us where we're going to go. But right now, the goal is to get with a label and put an album out.
Yeah, I think we can all say that at least an album, and then a touring of that album would be something that we can realistically would like to and could do. So, maybe somewhere along those lines.
Please give a plug on where we can buy your music in the future. Give us a plug on your websites.
Right now, you can find us on Facebook. You can also find us on Instagram. On Instagram. But as far as music, we don't have any pages for music just yet. We're definitely working on it at this time. Right. And once we get more,
the song, the single is on YouTube.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And it's readily available. Right. You just can't download it, obviously. Right. But I was thinking about there's now Apple Music, there's Spotify and places like that. So we'll definitely look into it. It's just being that we're currently only have this one single, we're probably gonna wait a bit more and just have something to put out there. So for now, I think it's on YouTube and it's readily available.
I really love the new song you just put out, Voyager. Great song, by the way, guys and lady.
But thank you, Lee.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's more things to come. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Right. I would like to mention Deezer's another good outlet to put your music on, and Bandcamp also. A lot of bands are using Deezer and Bandcamp these days.
Right. I forgot about Bandcamp. Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's so many of them, and I hope there's even more because people need to get their music out. So Deezer totally. I totally forgot about that.
If a new fan goes to see you perform live, what kind of Black Earth show would that fan get?
His money's worth. He or she's money's worth.
They wouldn't want to ticket.
Well, what I know from experience with these guys, I know it's every show we're trying to put out is as energetic as possible. If you're coming out there, you want to be entertained. You want to be as professional as you can and just give your best. That's as a musician and as a performer. That's really all we can do. And then hopefully people would like what they see and what they hear.
Guys, it's been a pleasure and an honor having you on the show with us here tonight, Joker's Electric Circus on Metal Messiah Radio. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule for doing this interview with us. In the near future, if you have anything new you want to promote, please let us know, and we will promote it and get you back on air with us. How about that?
That would be awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, I got a new offering by Black Earth, a heavy power metal band from California. We got Voyager. Please tell us a little bit about the song in closing.
The song is it's pretty much about piracy, treasure, killing the beast, and sailing the 7 seas.
Great. All right, everyone, coming up next, here is a brand new single, a brand new song called Voyager by Black Earth. Joker Live, MetalMessiahRadio.com. We're always your metal music messiah. Crank it.